So this video is going to be a quick Q&A video on sports betting and Oddsjam, just as a follow-up video to the two previous videos I've made on the topic, where I was talking about ways I've made money online, and then I did a comprehensive review of Oddsjam. So from that, I got a couple questions just asking a little bit more details about my process. So I'm going to answer here so that everyone can, be filled in on, how I go about those things. And hopefully it helps you. So the first and most prominent question is, what are the filters I use on Oddsjam? So currently I use the filters of my EV percentage being at least 1%. I do only bets within 7 days with odds ranging in between -350 and 350. And most importantly, I have a whiff of less than 50. And it's a little nuance to this because I would typically recommend anything that's over 2% EV percentage is what you should go for. But I set it to 1% because in the event that you have some very low whiff bets, and what I mean by low whiff bets, I mean something that's about under 30 whiff, I would then accept bets that's less than 2% positive EV. So I set the positive EV percentage a little bit lower so that I can get those bets in as well. And whiff is very important because it basically is an indicator of how confident a book is on their bets. So if they have a whiff of, let's say, 100, they're basically saying, we don't know, or we're not sure exactly what's going to happen with this bet. So we're going to hedge ourselves and have a lot of cushion in between. Whether if they have a whiff of, say, 20, they're like, we're almost very confident that we're spot on with the way we're setting our odds. So we're going to be very tight on our margins because we're comfortable with it. So that's why whiff is very important into that equation. And I would say play around with things yourself because I've over time changed my preferences a lot. At some point I had went up to 5% EV. At some point I was comfortable with 100 whiff. At some points I was only taking bets that were positive and not any negative bets, but I've evolved and landed on this strategy and it works for me. Next question. Did you only pick certain EV bets? Yes and no. I really don't know much about a lot of sports, whether that's hockey or baseball or whatnot. So I typically go for most, if not all, bets that are positive EV. But I've learned through my process that some just don't quite work for me. And I don't know if it's the system I'm using or if I'm just unlucky, but I've kind of steered away from, with baseball, player props, in particular home run bets, as well as 2-hit game bets, where these bets seem to have a lot of variance and it is very dependent on a lot of factors. So even though the whiff in the book say they're pretty confident on where they stand with it, I found in the long run that I was losing on these bets, so I just stopped in general betting on these things. Next question. Do you use the platinum or gold plan? So I use a standard plan that Oddsjam has to offer, which is about $200 a month on most occasions, where the platinum plan is about, I believe, $1,000 a month. And I just typically go with this because I think the way I bet it is more profitable, or it just makes more sense to go with the lower cost plan. Whereas if I went with the platinum plan, I would have to be a more aggressive bettor or a different type of bettor. For example, if you want to do live arbitrage betting, the platinum plan is kind of a must because that's where you'll see the best opportunities to make a lot of money on them. So you will have to go for that. But the way I'm going about it, the cost of the platinum plan would kind of eat into the profit margins too much for it to kind of be realistic for me, because if you look at $1,000 over 12 months, it's $12,000, where a $200 plan over 12 months is only $2,400. So for the platinum plan, I would need to be making about $20,000 to kind of even add up to what I'm making with a standard plan. And that just didn't work out number-wise for me, but it may for some. Next question. What's a good bankroll to start with? Any bankroll. And that's the honest answer. Ideally, if I had to put a number on it, I would say maybe between $500 and $1,000. But you can genuinely start with any bankroll, because if you look into something called the Kelly criterion, it's basically a set of rules that takes into consideration how much money you have and sets recommended bet sizes based on the probability that a bet hits and how good of a, or how positive EV of a bet it is. So if you follow the Kelly criterion in making bets, it doesn't matter whether you have a $500 bankroll or a $10,000 bankroll, you'll be making bet sizes that kind of match what you're currently at. And as you grow over time, you know, you'll be making bigger size bets to kind of match your increased bankroll. And this works in a way that, for example, if you have a $500 bankroll, the Kelly criterion would recommend for $500 bankroll, maybe $5 bets, $10 bets, $20 bets, and a lot of examples. But for a $10,000 bankroll, it may be recommending $100 bets, $200 bets to kind of match and keep up with your pot of money that you're working with, so that you can kind of keep up your profit margins with how much you have in your account. And last question, have you gotten banned yet? So no, you typically do not get banned on sports books unless you do something that genuinely just violates the rules in a way that they're like, all right, you can't bet anymore. But what I have done in a large number is I've gotten limited. So being limited basically means that you'll be reduced in the amount of money you can make on certain bets, whether that's like particular to a certain sport or just across the entire book, or you're being limited in how many times you can bet a day. And I've been limited on a lot of sports books. My list includes my list of books I'm limited on includes Betfred, BetMGM, BetRivers, Caesars, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, and PointsBets. Oh, and Bet365. I can still go up there and make a bet, but they'll probably be like, yeah, you can only bet $10 here. And where my bankroll is currently at a point where I'm making several $100 bets, I don't really want to bother or waste my time making $5 to $10 bets. But usually you won't find yourself completely limited. And if you want to continue to make these small bet sizes and pull in small profit gains, by all means. But, you know, I'd rather do other things with my time. So that's all I have. If you have any additional questions, I'll try and tackle it in the comment section below. So like, comment, subscribe. And if you're still interested in Oddsjam, be sure to follow or click the link in the description so that you can try a 7-day free trial to try out Oddsjam to see if it works for you. And then let me know your results, because I see a lot of people who outperform what I do and a lot of people who underperform what I do. So I'm just curious, you know, what kind of results other people can get, you know, using this. So yeah, thank you for watching.